The Libido Doctor is in.
Hello and welcome. This is Dr. Suzanne, and today I would like to talk about the 7 spiritual marks of a chosen woman. If you watch my video about the 2 types of children you will ever have, there is a small section there that talks about the chosen child that is of female gender. Okay, so go watch that video and you will have a little bit of idea of how those children act. How do you know you are a chosen woman? You are chosen from your mother's womb. Jeremiah, in the 1st chapter, God tells him, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. It means that God has already written a spiritual plan for us to accomplish on earth. Remember that we are ambassadors for Christ, and our main goal on earth is to fulfill our divine mission, meaning bring the will of God on earth. How do you figure that out? You will notice that you're different from your siblings. To be honest, you are different. But in my particular case, my mom told me, and at some point also, my father told me. I was a teenager, and my mom continually told me, when I was in med school, and she was telling me some of the things I was doing, but I have to admit that it wasn't clicking in my mind. It happened really later for me to pinpoint who I was in the spiritual realm and what was my role in my family, in my, in the society, in my career and all that. It took time. It usually takes time. So I want to give these characteristics. Maybe it's going to help someone who is asking herself, what's happening in my life? Why am I so different? Why I'm not moving like other women or things like that? So I want to give you 7 characteristics and tie it to spiritual gifts, okay? And it's mainly from my own experience, really. It could be different from one person to the other, but usually I believe those are kind of the characteristics that come most often for most people. The first one, I would say, that I noticed in me from a little child is discernment and wisdom. As a little girl, the books I loved to read, I grew up Catholic, so I had a Catholic Bible. In the Catholic Bible, you have the Book of Wisdom, you have the Book of Ben Sirach, and you also have the Book of Proverbs. And those were the 3 books I was reading and reading and reading and underlying and applying and, just using a lot. Even though I was reading other books, but those were the 3 I could sleep and remember some of the verses and just recite them in my sleep. So discernment and wisdom, they go together, okay? What does that mean? It means that when you face situations or when you meet people, you will be able to determine hidden motives. People smile at your face, but they're not always nice. And you will notice that as you grow up, especially when you enter the marketplace, oh Lord, people come to you with deals, but they are coming to cut your throat. It's what's going to help you identify the wolves in sheep clothing, the roaring lions that are sent to destroy the lions of the tribe of Judah. So, spiritual discernment is your first characteristics. Your children bring their friends home and you are able to discern that, this is not going to work. There are some people around your husband and you're able to discern that, this one who says he's a friend or a childhood friend, he's actually not good for you. That spiritual discernment is extremely powerful to help you navigate in relationships. The second characteristics of these people is that they like time alone. And it's not necessarily time alone like that. It's time with God. Because it's during that time that they may be reading their Bible, they may be doing praise and worship, they may be very quiet in their meditation to hear from the Lord and apply some of the instructions they're supposed to apply. It's during that time that they actually go to inquire and ask the Lord, Father, there is this situation happening. What am I supposed to do about it? How do you want me to approach it? Is there something here that I am not fully understanding? So those people usually tend to like being by themselves. Most of the time they are introvert. I am an introvert, but by profession, I have to be an extrovert. I own companies, I have employees, I deal with clients, I have suppliers, I have even patients. And I cannot be an introvert or, shy in front of them. I have to interact. So socially, we go out there and we perform, but most of the time, we like to be quiet. We like to be in a corner, maybe with a book, maybe, just listening to gospel music, at least for me. I don't know what everybody does. At least for me, that's what I like to do. Number 3, they are very peaceful around chaos. So if, for example, there is a situation that causes people to panic, they will calm down. And when they calm down, what are they doing? They are going to this part of the brain that pulls solution. They will go look for strategies. They will go look for, okay, have we been in these kind of situations before? What is happening? Who is, acting out? Is it, they go back because they are mastermind thinkers. They look at situations and they will try to assess what is the best thing to do. What is the next best move? Am I safe here or am I not safe? They don't just, buy into the panic. And the other thing they have courage, a quiet courage. Like they are not going to defy people or defy situations just to defy them, but they move in this knowing that what they are doing has a spiritual backing. Therefore, they have courage. If they are needed somewhere and people don't necessarily want to go, they will go because they know that God is backing them. Okay? Number 4, they move in love. Love and compassion. Remember that God is love. So it's going to be manifested in all levels. They are very compassionate people. They like to help others. They like to provide solutions. And most of the time, they do it with instructions from the Lord. They are very generous, but they don't just give to give. They give when God says give. Okay? So you can be here asking them for like $1,000 and they're going to tell you, the economic crisis, it's hard. But as soon as God tells them, I want you to give 50,000 to this ministry, boom, they will do it. Okay? So they move, but under divine instructions. They move in love, they move in compassion. And you will notice that this type of people are attacked a lot. They attract a lot of jealousy, a lot of gossip. And this is one thing they don't do. They are truthful. They will tell you things the way they are. They don't gossip. They don't backstab. Especially for us women, like a lot of women like to move in, competition. Let me call it competition. competition with jealousy, envy, backstabbing, lying on others, belittling them, putting them down. They don't do that. But most of the time, what women need to understand is that when you're facing a chosen woman, you will hardly win against her. You almost never win because she's not moving in the same dimension and realm as you, and she can actually see what you're doing. And it gives her the opportunity to rise above what you're doing and really move on. That's what I should say. Okay. Number 5, they move with grace. Grace is a spirit. What does that mean? It means that if, for example, they are in a situation or in a relationship where they notice that the spirit of the Lord is not moving anymore, or their soul is being oppressed, or every time they get into this relationship, they are depleted energetically. They are not feeling good. They, tend to be on the negative side of the personality, maybe anger, screaming, and things like that. They will move with grace. They will leave you alone. No grudges, no hatred. They forgive easily, and they also tend to ask for forgiveness very easily, right? Because they're usually not very complicated as people. They're actually very simple, but there are things they do not allow their body, soul, and spirit to stay in. So some of you women, you notice that after some years, your relationship brings you down more than it uplifts you. And because of what God has planted in you, you will not be able to continue to do that. You just move with grace. And God will actually help you in every situation, have clarity, discernment, understanding, so you can actually understand what happened behind the scenes that you were not able to see initially. Okay? So those women usually move with grace. No time for grudges, no time for hatred, no time for fights, no time, no time for that. All right? So number 6, they move in divine favor. When a chosen woman enters an environment, the atmosphere is going to shift because she's not alone. She herself walks with spiritual backing. Okay? What does that mean? It means that if she enters a situation where there was a long-term blockage, the situation will begin to open up naturally, progressively, even if she doesn't do anything about it. It also means that she will be able to unlock situations that have been locked. Let's say maybe you've been wanting to get something done for a long time, and for some reason it's always blocking. She comes, and maybe with one idea, with one strategy, the thing opens up. They have spiritual knowledge. That's the 7 characteristics. Spiritual knowledge, understanding. They actually have territories they must conquer. Okay? In order for you to conquer, you need to have the authority. If you are acting in a place where you don't have authority, you will lose the battle. So you actually have to understand, what are my territories? What am I supposed to do? What is my divine mission? And God will give them victory in most of the battles, if not all. If God has sent them, He will give them victory. Just like David inquired of the Lord every time before going to a battle, and God would tell him, go. You will win. That's how these women act. You don't just go to go. You go when God says move. And because God says move, he gives you strategies. He gives you understanding. He tells you exactly who you are fighting. He shows you the spirit behind. Oh Lord, that's how we move. So those women, they may be kind, but they are not foolish. They may be gentle, but they are not weak. They may be quiet, but it doesn't mean that they are not warriors. They can wage terrible wars and win them. And then after they're like, okay, done. So never underestimate them because you see them. You know, maybe I remember I was telling someone one day that I know the type of spirit he's engaging against me. And I started telling him, you doing this, you doing this, you doing that. And that person looked at me and was like, I thought you were a medical doctor. I thought you were intellectual. How do you know all this? Who taught you all that? I just smiled. And I said, don't try me. Don't try me. Because usually what happens, and what I have noticed in my life, is that people come and they attack. But when you come attack me, you have given me permission to cut your throat. And when I cut your throat, you will regret touching the chosen of the Lord. So, these are the characteristics of chosen women, spiritual characteristics. I only mentioned 7, but there are many more. And if you find yourself in this category, just pray to the Lord and ask him, Father, what is my territory? What is my divine mission? Who did you call me to? Who am I supposed to help? What do you want me to implement on earth? Let your will be done. Okay? Thank you so much for listening. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.